If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Yay!
Hi there everyone, welcome back to the Monday Club, and have we got an action-packed Monday Club for you. Don't forget to tickle the like button and share the stream too. I'd just like to thank George Botterini, who's just donated $9.99 for the train fund. Thank you ever so much. That's done on the super chat. Thank you ever so much. It does help us to continue to be able to produce the videos that you want to see. And I would also like to thank Robert Steers, who also very, very kindly, before we even started, used the super chat to donate $10. So thank you ever so much as well. So we've got a lot of people in, and there's a lot of news, to be honest with you.
First, though, I would like to say hello to Iron Horse Railway's little girl, Bethany.
Oh,
so hello there. And
we
have a lot of people in the chat today. My goodness. I'm just scrolling back for all the people that are here. Our first person was Question of Trek. So hello, Conti, with the Question of Trek. You were on Question of Trek this week,
yes.
You?
We did Question of Dwarf.
Yes.
Girls from the Dwarf.
And we trounced Conti.
Yes. Yeah, although you do smoke your cigarette like a total pro, or at least a lister. No, it's a chicken.
It was a good night, and my best wishes for Conti's teammate who couldn't be with us due to being in hospital. So very, very much a case of hope she gets well soon. We've also got Ham Shackleton in the chat. Hello to Ham Shackleton. Patrick Ling, Richard Swiderski. Hello to both of you. JJ, the tank engine number 51.
We've also got Flymo Chairman 1, George Botterini, Richard Swiderski, Robert Steers, of course, already mentioned with the very generous super chat. Said, for the Locomotive Fund, happy Monday.
It is a happy Monday, yes. Whoa.
I've got it. You're twisting my melon, man.
Ooh.
Happy Monday's reference.
Ooh.
But we've also got Matt Ovell, Iron Horse Railways, and of course the Billy's Replacement Speakers sign looks really good. DT Head, Aylesmead Project. Robert Steers says, came down with COVID at the St. Louis RPM show despite 2 vaccine doses in January. Although I'm through the worst of it. I'm really glad to hear. I know you came down ill on your way back from that event. Unfortunately, I know a few people who've caught it after having the 2 jabs, but what you've got to remember is that in having the 2 jabs, it made it a much, much milder illness.
Absolutely.
So it's, I cannot recommend having 2 jabs more highly.
Absolutely.
But, right, anyway, if you want to get that up to date...
hello to everyone who's in the chat that we haven't sent.
Southern Train Girl, Paul O'Donovan, Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase, Cameron Patterson, Clive Cobold, Mells, Peter Leyland. But the big news that broke maybe 2 hours at most ago is the fact that Warley 2021 has been cancelled. We didn't get any warning about this.
That is a surprise.
But they've put out a statement saying that there's still a lot of uncertainty with regard to where things are going at the moment, whether or not they would have to cancel it if things got worse. And I think that they've taken the view that they cannot afford to take another hit with having to cancel at short notice. So they have rescheduled. Warley 2021 is not going ahead, but it's been rescheduled to 2022. As far as we know, Great Electric Train Show is still down to go ahead and looks to be still the first big event with people coming back. Not heard any further word on that, but we all thought that Warley was going to go ahead. So just watch this space. And unfortunately, we do live in uncertain times. As Robert said, the RPM meet went ahead in St. Louis. Looked a great event from all the video and and such like. But people or Robert has come down with illness off the back of that, and I think that's going to be a big worry.
I think that's going to be with us for a while. But what do you say to doing a virtual model railway exhibition in November?
Certainly, if something else isn't going on. Now, there is something else in the pipeline which I can't talk to you about, but if that didn't go ahead, then we could, or even if it did, we could do something tying in with that. But I can't give any more details.
Yeah, it's just I know that a lot of people every year they want something around that time.
As George Botterini donated twice, I'm seeing 2 lots of $9.99.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I'm pretty sure that was just a. That's the only one.
I've seen Skipsy. Yeah.
No.
George, you donated twice on the super chat. Look, thank you ever so much for that.
Yeah.
That was incredibly generous of you. I don't know whether you intended to do that. Look, just.
Yeah, if you didn't, get in touch.
Yeah, no worries. We got Underground Eric, hi to you. John Nelson, Wamgok, Ruben Ashwell, David Cook. Wardle Road is in the house. Nice to see you. Did you actually buy that 5-inch gauge 14XX tank? I know Wardle Road posted a picture of a really rather fine GWR 14XX live steam locomotive, which it rather cryptically suggested could be part of his own fleet. If it is, we need to know, because that is a nice piece of kit. Oh my word, Nuts and Bolts 77 has incredibly generously donated $10.
Thank you so much.
On Super Chat. Thank you so much for that. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much. And the Nuts and Bolts 77 says, Train Fund 2. Woohoo!
Thank you so much.
And you may have noticed, actually, that the Train Fund has already been in play, because I've just had delivered, literally today, the J27 from Oxford Rail is just coming round underneath this bridge. So, we're literally just running that in. Cameron Patterson says, hi Jennifer, just ordered 2 of your wagons. Thank you ever so much. And Wardle Road says, I confess, it's mine. Oh gosh, Mr. Moneybags, or are you living on smart price beans now for the rest of the decade?
Yes. Can I just say, Les Cliff is in the house.
Woohoo! Les Cliff is in the building. A big hello to you, Les. Great to see you. We still need to sort out, yes, I would love something to drink. We still need to sort out getting you over here for a Monday club.
Les, get your ass to Weir Yard.
Yeah, we have a spare bedroom, so we need to have you here in the hot seat. But
I'll even cook for you and it'll be edible. I won't let Jenny near the kitchen.
But yeah, Underground Eric says 5 inches addictive. Yes, my father is looking into 5-inch. He's actually looking at, I think it's a 15XX tank locomotive. So watch this space. There may be another live steam locomotive on the cards. He's currently in the process of selling his 4-inch Garrett, and part of the proceeds from that, he is tempted to buy it's a 15XX 060 pannier tank locomotive. And I think he's also quite tempted to build a standard class 4MT 264 tank locomotive. So watch this space. Robin Slewer says, I'm hoping to go to the Warley Model Show next year. And of course, absolutely, it's breaking news in the last couple of hours is that Warley this year has been cancelled. B. Moza, big hello to you. Great to see you in. Says, Jenny, what do you think about Hornby now owning 100% of Oxford Diecast? I think that was inevitable. It's been on the cards since Lyndon Davies went to Hornby, given that he owned, I think it was 51% of Oxford Diecast, and part of the move, 49% was bought by Hornby with an option to buy the rest. This they have now done. I believe, as far as I can find out from pumping my contacts, as it stands, the two companies will be run at arm's length. We're not going to see Oxford Rail be amalgamated with Hornby, but we may well see a trading of moulds. Nothing official on that. So just wait and see. But certainly Oxford Diecast is a big name brand. It's got a lot of market share. and that will of course be continuing. And I think as well we've got some great locomotives in the Oxford Rail range, and I do wonder whether Hornby may look to make Oxford Rail their sort of a replacement for their Railroad brand range. So a bit like what in some respects doing something like what Bachmann's done with EFE. Not saying EFE is a bargain basement range, but having the two separate ranges. Iron Horse Railway says, I hope the quality and more importantly the price point of Oxford doesn't become an issue. Always pleased with Oxford products, especially their Janus Shunter. Absolutely, that Janus Shunter, you can pick them up. I've seen them down to about £69.50, which is an absolute steal for the mechanism that's in them alone. Forget about whether you need a Janus Shunter or not. The actual chassis that's underneath there is an incredibly good 060 chassis and would be perfect for something like the Enwins 3D models. Now, David Watts says the J27 from Oxford is a great loco at a good price. I got the LNER version 2 weeks ago along with the N7. That's even got a die-cast body. Yes, absolutely, N7. I've got two of those. Really great models. The J27, now I did need to adjust its pickups out of the box, but it's now running around. It seems reasonably happy, touch wood. That will be coming up in a review in a couple of weeks' time. But the other news, somebody did ask about it, was that the Class 47 announcement from Bachmann. We have got an announcement of something in the region of £1 million worth of investment in tooling on that all-new, tooled from the ground up. Now, this is not a warm over of their existing Class 47 model, which I actually always thought was a reasonable model. But this is tooling from scratch, and I suspect that Bachmann have taken the opportunity to allow in the tooling suite, through the use of tooling slides, to produce all of the different versions of the Class 47s, and I would not be surprised if the Class 57s are also part of the same tooling suite. So expect a fully spec'd up Class 57 to be announced sooner rather than later, is my guess. It features, and this is quite interesting, as far as I know, this is something I have seen on O-Gauge, namely with the Hellion Class 25 in O-Gauge, but first time I've seen it in 00, and this is an independently operated roof fan controlled from its own separate small motor that can be activated via one of the auxiliary functions on the DCC decoder. And this I really do love, that manufacturers are starting to experiment with what they can do with DCC, because there is a lot more to DCC than just things like lighting and running more than one locomotive on the same tracks. And you know, we've had the sound's been great. Smoke units too that are operated off the DCC. I've been really loving the two that I've been lent for review from TRS Trains. Really enjoy that. So a big thank you to Kyle Humphreys over at TRS Trains for lending those, and do check them out on their Facebook page if those were of great interest to you. Big hello to Dongit's Model Railway, who says, who is putting their older 47s on eBay then? I could do with some 47s, but not at that price. Actually, courtesy of Somerset Andy, who very kindly sent the channel a Bachmann Class 47 Firefly in Intercity livery. No intentions of getting rid of that locomotive. Even when the new one comes out, I still personally think that the old one will hold their own. And what we may see is a degree of cascading where people sell on their older ones to fund buying the new Bachmann ones, which would release a stock of more affordably priced locomotives to the market. Now, as far as I'm aware, the tooling for the Bachmann 47, the old one, has not gone anywhere. So we could even see this as being a launch of a budget range from Bachmann, possibly marketed through EFE Rail, whereby the older Class 47 could appear, possibly even without lights, something like that, as a much more basic model. But I'm just speculating on that. B2000RO Toys channel, big hello to you. Says, I still cannot find a Hornby Murdoch for a reasonable price. I'll be honest with you, you're not going to find them. Sue at Putnam Junction, hi to you. JJ Williams, 1984. We got a really good turnout. David Watts, Russell Benton. David Cook says, Jenny, nobody will pay that amount of money. I think I saw something like £329 at Rails of Sheffield for the full spec bells and whistles class 47. I remember, I know it is getting expensive. Let's not pretend anything otherwise. But I remember when the Bachmann 7F, the SDJR Austin 7F 280 was the first model to be offered with an RRP over £100. And I can remember then people saying that nobody would pay over £100 for a locomotive. Well, we passed the £200 mark, and it looks like the £300 mark is making an appearance quite quickly afterwards. AD Pullen, big hello to you. And yes, the Adams 02 has also been announced for the EFE rail range. What's interesting is that this has very thoughtfully been done in such a way as to not step on the toes of Kernow Model Centre, in that they have announced a Monsell green version, which is sure to be very popular. Do get those ordered, because I predict they will sell out quick. And then not one but two of the Isle of Wight versions in the malachite green, with two different identities. One with the malachite green, but with British Railways on the tank in the sunshine lettering, and then one with the slightly earlier Southern Railway on the tanks. And that is a great boon for Isle of Wight modelers, who have also just recently seen a Hornby Terrier turn up in that same livery. So it's good times for Isle of Wight modelers, certainly. Right, Madden Steam Railways, big hello to you. Let us hope that the new 47 is more affordable than the previous model. I think your hopes are going to be dashed on that. Dragon Junction Mark II, big hello to you. Skipsy Train says, I've got some of the new Bachmann Class 158, 159s, but I'm happy for them to run side by side with the original tooling. I won't be getting rid of my Bachmann 47s either. Yeah, and I have to say that I'm thinking the same with my Bachmann Class 25s and 24s. From the original release, I feel can quite happily run next to updated models. I mix and match currently with the Hellion Class 25, which I think is an excellent model, but I think that the older style Bachmann 25 is still holds its own next to it. You know, you can see the difference, but it's not enough as to make me want to dispose of my older 25s and 24s. Mark Wilson, evening, my duck. Philip Page, hi to you. Bagnall Dave, has anyone heard anything about the Acura Scale Class 55 regarding the release date? All I can think is imminent. I know that the Class 55 from Acura Scale is scheduled to be their first locomotive release. I haven't heard anything about loading on containers. What I can tell you is that the MDO MDV wagons, they're selling out quick. A number of the main range versions are already sold out to pre-order. Somewhere in the region of 50% have. So these are the triple packs coming through from Acura Scale and available from all Acura Scale dealers. So if you want the MDO MDV packs, you need to get in there, because this first run is selling out quickly. And there is a low stock warning on all, and yes, that's right, you heard it, all of the other versions. So if you do want those wagons, you must order now or you will miss out. This includes the Monday Club wagon, which is on the verge of selling out. So you really do need to get your order in for that, and do remember that the Monday Club Acura Scale MDV wagon is an authentic MDV livery. It's a tops coded BR bauxite liveried wagon, and it has had additionally applied to it empty to wear yard branding, as well as the JK graffiti logo. And if you don't want them on, doesn't bother me, cut them off. I'll even do a tutorial on how to do that, I think. In fact, yeah, I'll do that. I will take one of my wagons and I will remove the branding and weather it up to show you that you can get... I was hoping you were bringing a soft drink, to be honest.
Well, you got tea.
Don't like tea. What is this dirty water?
How are you British?
I don't know. Michael Pollitt, hi to you. James Hardy says, is the EFE Range 02 out yet? Not yet, but I would suggest it may be shortly, as in the next month or so. Will Tucker says, Acura Scale said late Q3 for Deltix, suggests end of September, maybe October.
Not long now, then.
Definitely not. I would expect, based on past experience, that also the other one to watch would be actually somebody said about cameras. I haven't actually changed the camera angles.
Hey, Jen.
Ah, and it is working. There we go. So, AD Pullen says J27 keeps stopping. Oh, it's spinning its wheels, actually. So, I possibly need to clean the track a little bit.
I'll run it in a bit.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten the load ever so slightly. I'm going to take a carriage off.
That's not realistic. You should have pulled it into a station and shunted it off.
No. David Watts says nothing wrong with older models. Hellion Railcar at 160 or Lima Railcar at 40. Not really a difficult decision. Of course, we did do a video on that. Ruben Ashwell says, I see the TARDIS with the trucks. Absolutely. That's been spotted already. Yeah. Ham Shackleton says TARDIS by the empty wagons.
Well,
Glowcom Model Railway, big hello to you. Mike Reed as well says, hi Jenny, it's Mike Reed from North Carolina. You rock, girl. Yes. Oh, yes.
She does.
The Monday Club
we
Posse.
keep pushing her.
Yeah. Don't forget as well to share the stream. Really important. Get the word out on social media. Let's try and get a record number of people in, and do tickle that like button. It really does help for the interaction. Flymo Chairman 1 says, I was sitting with my daughter on the other end waiting for an ambulance that never arrived. J. Awful Ghosts. Oh, I'm so sorry. The Unfamiliar Terrier 48 says, Jenny, don't diss upon tea. Coffee is manky water. Actually, I've gone off coffee of late.
You've gone off everything of late.
Don't forget as well that we've still got merchandise available. So we've got the Jenny Monday Club mug, which I will now turn around and show you the other side. It's available if you have a look in the merch that's for sale underneath. You can also buy t-shirts, hoodies. And are the coasters up yet?
No, the coaster design will be bought straight from us.
Oh, will it?
Yes, rather than through Spreadshirt, because Spreadshirt don't seem to do coasters.
But they do they do the die-cut stickers?
Oh, they do the stickers, yeah. So if you got a piece of wood or a piece of cork, you could
make your own
by adding a die-cut sticker on the top.
There we are. Oh, that's quite nice, that. Teddy Edward, hello to you. Worthington Model Railway says hi from Minnesota. We've got a lot of people in from all around the world. Mark Wilson asks, what is the record number of live viewers? I think we nearly got to 500, but not quite. Something like 492 is the record. If we do breach that, then I think that Zoe will be getting a PS2 game as a or a pizza, whichever you prefer,
or a day off.
No.
Oh.
Dinmore Junction, hi to you.
It was worth asking.
Skipsy Train says 0224 Calbourne is available now from the Isle of Wight Steam Railway, and they're being sent out this week. So that will mean that you can already get the O2 from the Isle of Wight Steam Railway in their special commission livery, but that presumably means that it is imminent for the O2 from all other retailers. Mark Herbert says, sorry I'm late, putting the little one to bed.
A Monday clubber is never late, Frodo Baggins, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Yes, we were all unfashionably early, so don't you worry.
Yes.
John Linton says hi from Florida. Gosh, we're getting a great American contingent in, so brilliant to see you all. DT
Absolutely.
Head says Billy's replacement steamers. Bagnall Dave, what about a fridge magnet in your merch store? Oh, can we do that?
I will look into it.
We will look into that. Wamgok says 305 watching, 100 likes. Come on, people. Oh, yeah, let's tickle the like button and hear it giggle. Belmont Junction says, have a glass of wine, Jenny and Zoe. I might do afterwards, actually. Dinmore Junction, hi to you. Madden Steam Rose says, I'm going to have to go down for a short time because my iPhone battery is running out. Back later. Oh, no, you need to plug it into the national grid. James Hardy says, is the EFE XDJ model going to be any good? As far as I'm told that yes, our Kerno Model Centre correspondent Graham Mers has already verified over on the Book of Face that the O2 samples have been running there and are running really, really well. TB asks, are you still collecting O-gauge models? Absolutely. We haven't seen much from them, though, recently, have we? George Botterini says, just won a bid on a Union Pacific Oscar and Pike coach set. Oh, wow. Joe Chalice, hi to you. Nick Manley says, hi from sunny California. Boom, US contingent, represent. Andy T, 741, evening to you. Mel says, I am painting and building a HO scale model of Walther's Winners Circle Petro, and I am still building HO scale of Steam era kit of Australia's VHGF grain hopper wagon. Excellent. Tim's Model Railway in different videos. I like the engine in the mild line because it's watercress line. They'd paint one to look like James for their Day Out with Thomas event. Excellent. Brilliant. Wardle Road asks, how's things at DCC Concepts? Going really well back there tomorrow. We just launched, in fact that's in the news as well, we've just launched the ground signal control board. Now, as everybody is probably already aware, DCC Concepts already do a range of ground signals, and what they've actually brought out due to customer demand is a little module that will control, it's got a single channel to match with the point that gives you two outputs, one for each aspect, so you can pick which aspect you want to be displayed depending on which way the point is set, or you could even use it for two ground signals, each displaying opposite aspects. But they also work with the alpha mimic LEDs, so you could also use it to show the position of a hard to see point. These are little boards that come in single and triple packs that just plug in natively to, and they've got full instructions with them to go into Cobalt Digital IP, Cobalt Analog, Cobalt Amiga Classic, but they also work with the ADS units. They're the solenoid decoders for both the DCC Concepts range, but also the Rails Connect ones as well. And I believe that Hattons have some too that were designed by DCC Concepts for them that they've still got for sale, and they will work with those as well. TB asks, what do you think is the most overrated steam locomotive? Well, that has to be Flying Scotsman.
You are one for Flying Scotsman.
Yeah.
Barry Turner says, what's brown, steams, and comes out of cows? The Isle of Wight Ferry. Oh, that's tickled me. Thank you very much for that
my
one.
word.
I do love a good one. We've got a question here from Mark Rice. It says, did you see What's Neat this week with Ken Patterson? Love the model of the UFO and the cow. Love to see Zoe have its Mars attack. We actually have had that video sent to us for tonight, so we'll be showing it. Jen,
right.
I don't know whether you've seen it yet. I know you are a big fan of
I am a big fan. Because we've been, I've been out all day, so I'm just filling up the hopper on the.
Yes, you've been out and about. I believe you were spotted in
I
Halifax.
was spotted in Halifax, actually. So...
What on earth were you doing in Halifax?
Oh, well, you were there as well.
I didn't think they let you out without supervision.
No, we went to. We've been on holiday. Yes. So you wouldn't know from watching the channel because we did make sure that we had videos to go out. But we were in Halifax on Tuesday for the day. And a really lovely place. I do recommend going out and about in Halifax. But we were spotted by a Monday clubber who sent me a message and went, have you just walked through Peace Hall in Halifax by any chance? It's like, why, yes. So, oh, in that case, I spotted you.
And you also got spotted in Skipton, I believe.
Oh, yes.
Someone was driving past in a car and spotted you. How on earth did you manage to get out and about? I thought you weren't allowed out without supervision.
Well, you were with me.
Yes, but I don't really count. I'm not exactly a good influence.
Clive Cobalt says, Jenny, I will have to go. I am not feeling too well tonight. I was at the doctor's today. I hope to see you all next week, and good night from Northern Ireland. Look, you take great care of yourself. Look, stay safe, and remember that we will always be here for you. And don't worry about us. We'll
be here when you get back.
Definitely, but look, just take care and take it easy. Yeah.
Get well soon.
So what else we got? Southern Line says hi from the rainy south. Oh my word, gosh, we had quite a lot of rain before, and oh my word, Alex Dent has very, very generously donated through the super chat £2. Thank you
so
ever so much for that. That is incredibly generous of you, and thank you.
I decided to be a good lad and donate. Never feel like you have to.
No, there is no onus. You never ever feel like you have to give money.
Absolutely.
But we do totally appreciate anybody who does donate. Thank you ever so much, because it does help us to be able to keep making the videos that you want
It helps
to see.
It literally helps us keep the lights on. I mean, the cameras in here were paid for by donations, weren't they?
They were, yes,
So,
and a lot of the videos, the review videos.
Speaking of cameras, change them.
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Come on, keep up to date. Have you broken them? You've broken...
No, there we go! Boom! Right, Glowcom Model Row says, I've got an 18-carat gold Flying Scotsman.
Wow.
And I bet you it still didn't cost you as much as the real one costs, the NRM. Lifestyle Unleashed says, on holiday at Dolgoch. Dodgy Wi-Fi, so won't be here long. Absolutely. And we were saying, actually, we did mention Edwin's 3D earlier on. I'm just saying that the Oxford Rail Janus Shunter is an excellent donor mechanism, especially at the price that it's available at. Excuse me, sorry, what do you want?
Put that somewhere over there.
Oh, right.
And also with Nwin's 3D, we do have a monkey build coming up, and it may feature something from them.
Tim's Model Railway in different videos asks, is Mildline an N-Class engine? I don't know, to be honest with you. Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83, big hello to you. Devil says, spent this afternoon painting the Model U driver and passenger and installing them in the Hellion Western Region diesel railcar. Very therapeutic as doom and gloom all over the news outlets. And absolutely,
that would be quite an intricate job.
Very much, but we've seen some really, really great work done on miniatures. And oh my word, Warbler Productions has very, very generously donated £2 on the super chat. Thank you ever so much, and says, I'm currently editing a video of my Fairburn tank. Oh, excellent. So we may possibly see that later on. Absolutely.
Can I just do one thing? Come here.
What have I got?
You had something stuck in your chin.
Probably chocolate. Messing about with models, big hello to you. Warbler Production says, yay, the cameras are back. Don't jinx it. Nigel Cole says he needs Billy's replacement Wi-Fi. Is that basically just he shouts through a very loud megaphone?
It comes in a bucket.
Yeah. Your email says you've got that a nice Nigerian general wants to give you money. Patrick Furlong says, my local pub needs Billy's replacement speakers and Billy's replacement flooring.
Yes,
actually, Weatherspoons needs Billy's replacement carpet.
This is a bit more. Sir Patrick, always a friend of the channel, he sent me a photograph earlier on of where he is. Well, what used to be where he is, because now it's kind of Atlantis.
Oh, has it been flooded?
Just a lot.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Larry Rogers says, I think the Flying Scotsman's a fine-looking locomotive. And somebody did ask about... So Patrick... no, it's gone off the top.
Oh, I'll scroll back up.
Somebody says... where are you? Where are we?
There's the fine-looking locomotive you're on about.
Hythe Kent, there you are. Jenny, you were about to talk about the overrated Flying Scotsman. Yeah, I think with the money that they spent on renovating it, they would have been better building a replica from scratch. It would have been cheaper, it would have been more reliable, longer lasting, and the original Flying Scotsman would have been able to then just sort of live on in the museum at York.
Actually, that would have been a good idea.
Parkness says it was the first steam train to reach 100 miles per hour. Actually, no, that was City of Truro, I believe.
I don't know. If you pushed one off a cliff, that would get 100 miles an hour. A really tall cliff.
John PW22 says, evening all. Very glad to be here again. Absolutely. Tim's Model Railways in different videos says, where is Zach today?
He's on the moon.
I did see him earlier on, actually. I must admit. We were fitting a CCTV system at my parents' house.
So that she could spy on them.
No.
Yes.
Kelly Ashford Trains, big hello to you, says it's time you got out of the loft and into the fresh air. You can ride the rails on a standard gauge railway if there's one near you. Well, we did contemplate going on the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway.
I still say
away.
we need to do the Monday Club on tour, where we just have people come into a carriage with us every now and again, and we do some interviews and chat while we go round some layout.
We need
somewhere.
to set up out on tour. Messing about with models says, didn't they spend nearly $5 million on the Scotsman?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so. Leslie Gilpin says, what part of Flying Scotsman is original? It has an A4 boiler. I believe it's had to have a new cylinder block. And also, because of cracked frames, it's got new frames as well. So
technically, as long as there's one piece that's original, it's still the original.
But why didn't they reassemble all the bits they took off and just like put that in a museum? You could have loads of them.
I know.
Military base Bravo model railway layout. Big hello to you. Says at the moment I'm making sliding doors, full working with DCC for my HST set. That's my project in the loft. My girlfriend gets rid of me. Wow, that is actually really an impressive project if you can get that.
This. Oh, for goodness sake. Remove.
It's all right. Flyman Chairman one's dealt with the
Warley. Idiots.
Yeah.
There's a life.
Yeah. Rocker from the back street says, "Hi Jenny, Zoe. I see you all going well. I asked that large jungle company for some billies." Oh, we've got some kiddies in who think they're clever, but actually they're just losers.
Yeah, because we have good moderators who can see these idiots.
Yeah, so it's all right, we know who they are. Evan Terry says, my Wi-Fi died for 5 minutes. Oh, my word. So
you see, the problem with these parasites, as they are, is that Google very quickly sets their algorithm up, and it will understand what these are and then just block it.
Yeah, right. So we got some trolls in.
Don't worry about it. It will be removed.
Mm-hmm. Right. Lifestyle Unleashed says, do the Monday
Club on tour at Enwin's models, especially when they will get the Rapido models in alongside our own. Sounds interesting.
Excellent. Matt Ovell says, I doubt much of any Steam Train is original.
Oh, for goodness sake.
What a loser.
Okay, what I'm going to do for the moment is...
if you scroll up a little bit. Larry Rogers. Yeah, Union Pacific spent a ton of money restoring the big boy 41 foot, I can imagine. So, big thanks to the moderators getting rid of the losers.
George Butterman says, can you block them? Unfortunately, it's more than one account. It's one idiot, and we know who it is.
Mark Wilson says it's the Hogwarts Muppets. Yeah. It's okay. They'll eventually run out of spam accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a loser. Right.
The thing is that they're showing how
and Zach is in.
They are by the fact that they're using a children's set of books.
What is
they haven't read anything for adults.
Okay, right. Unfortunately, we're getting there's another loser in.
Jen, get off.
No, there's a way of stopping it from scrolling. There we are. Right.
With
Pratt
Iron
Attack.
Horse, we don't turn off the chat.
No, we don't.
Because we're here dealing with proper stuff, and these idiotic fools who really need to get a life, but will never be able to afford one because...
Anyway, the unfamiliar Terrier 48 says, I thought the most overrated steam engine would have been the little blue tanky. What, as in Thomas?
Yes.
Unfortunately, yeah. Iron Horse Railway says, if you know who it is, name and shape. No, I suspect I know who it is.
We suspect, but we don't know. We're not entirely sure of which of the multiple idiots from the community it is.
Yeah, anyway, Alex Dent, hi to you. And Skipsy Train says, applause to the moderators. Yep, that's it, everybody.
Absolutely.
A round of applause for the moderators who do an excellent job. Yeah, there's an interesting point, Wardle Road. How do they have so many accounts? Well, you'll notice there's a gap. They're busy making another puppet account. So J. Paul Anderson says, I actually think the trolls are kind of funny. Just loser funny. See, there's a gap now because they've run out of spam accounts.
Yeah, that's the problem. We're laughing at them, not with them.
Very much there, Whamgock. So, right. Barry Turner, hi to you. Russell Benton says, yay, well done, mods. Ham Shackleton says, yeah, it is a bit tricky. Nigel Cole says, just ignore the losers.
Yeah, let's get back to the conversation.
Anyway, so right, the news.
We're here talking about the choo-choos.
We're talking about the news.
The choo-choo news.
Whamgut, no, it won't be Sam. Don't worry, he's not that stupid.
Let's face it, he's got far too much to lose.
He's got better things to do.
He's got something. Dude was a teacher. He's not going to go in for this.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, Somerset Andy, big hello to you. We were talking about you earlier on. Were your ears burning? It says, good evening, Jenny and Zoe and everyone. Hope you're all okay. Yeah, actually, it's sweltering a bit up here, but
it is a bit warm tonight, isn't it?
It is getting a bit warm, but we basically we've been on holiday, so it's not too bad. James Pett says, I seem to have missed a spam attack. Absolutely, just a few losers. But today's news, anyway. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, I was just saying, Somerset Andy very generously donated a Class 47 quite a while ago to the channel. And we're always grateful for the items that get sent to us. But Can
I answer a question?
Yeah.
TB says, when you review models, how do you overcome speech anxiety? I have a stammer and it puts me off when I record lines. I'll tell you exactly how she does it. Jen talks and has gaps while she's thinking about the next thing to do, and then I cut the gaps out while I edit.
Yeah, editing is key.
That's all it is. I just keep the video flowing as much as I can and just move the audio together.
Yeah. And also, I do have a little bit of a stammer at times. I also struggle to pronounce certain words. Basically, my tongue doesn't quite go where it's supposed to go. So you'll sometimes hear me, it almost sounds like I slur words a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which is really difficult. Unfortunately, I can't overcome that. But what I will say is that practice makes perfect. And it's something that I've learned to deal with it is actually, sometimes you'll see me sort of lean forward and back as I'm talking. And a lot of that is to do with this rhythm in my head. And it's almost like you're making the words form a wave in your mind. And by concentrating on that, I don't end up getting stuck on consonants and syllables that would otherwise derail me. So it's something that I guess practice does make perfect. But having a good editor does help a lot.
Or just editing yourself and then
you do
the work now. We also have another question. Where's it gone? Manton 1956 says, if you had gone on the road to St. Louis, would you have done or been able to do a remote Monday Club from St. Louis? That was the plan, wasn't it?
That was the plan. We were going to sit at Sir Ken of Patterson's of What's Neat This Week fame's desk and actually do the Monday Club from the What's Neat This Week desk.
That would have been
amazing. Which
I
think would have been amazing. But anyway, other news. The biggest news, if you've not already heard, that came probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours before we went on air is that Warley 2021 has been cancelled. And we're still waiting to hear. As far as we know, all the other biggies are on, but watch this space.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the Great Electric Train Show as being the first big event, model rail event show that should be going on. So we just need to keep an eye on that. But
there is always the chance that other things will not be able to go ahead. At the moment, it's a case that we knew what the possibility was because we're not out of the woods yet. So while a lot of us were hoping that it would go on, I think a few of us knew that there was a very big chance that it wouldn't.
Yeah, and actually this is a great tip here from James Petts, who says, a tip for seeming fluent from somebody who teaches advocacy to barristers. Think of how you're going to end your sentence before you start it. And that is absolutely, definitely a great piece of advice. Because, I mean, I am prone to rambling a lot, but certainly if you, in your head, fix on where you're going with your sentence, what you are wanting to impart the information to, then it gives you a clearly defined end to what you're saying. The Unfamiliar Terrier 48 says, Billy's replacement model show. Well, watch this space. There may well be one. And I think that it's something that I was trying to say before we got some losers turned up, is that actually we're going to be looking to keep the Monday Club running as a nice little oasis of joy in an otherwise topsy-turvy world. So we will always be here throughout the uncertain times that we have. So the Monday Club will get you through. And don't forget to tickle that like button. Share the stream as well. Really important. It's the best way that you can help the channel is to share the stream, tickle that like. And of course, one of the things that I have noticed from looking at my stats is a good portion of you are not subscribed to the channel. You watch the content, but you don't subscribe.
How
Please.
do you know it's there?
Well, I look at the analytics. It tells me.
How do they know it's there?
I guess they just keep searching, and I've been guilty of the same with other things. Right. So anyway, Warbler Production says Warley's cancellation is understandable given the number of variants likely to occur in the coming months.
Yeah, we are coming back up to the
unfortunately
flu season.
It's uncertain times, and it's something interesting that somebody said to me is that it's not so much to do with infection rates. But it's actually about the insurance companies. The problem is getting insurance.
Yes, there is that as well.
Right. 156 Andrew says, love the Monday Club. Oh yes, Monday Club represent. Don't forget as well that we've got the merchandise that you can pick up. Your own wonderful JK Monday Club mug in a choice of British Rail suitable colours, and we've also got t-shirts and hoodies, so you can gronk it up, do you DMU, and Terrier Fest, My Railway, My Rules. They're all of them, aren't they? Or is there
I believe that is everything. We've got an interesting question here from Iron Horse Railways.
Oh yes.
Jen, how difficult was it to design a layout that did not have a station on it? Stations seem to be a staple of layouts, depending on the time period. What else could you model in place of a station? Well,
in my case, I modelled a marshalling yard, a hump marshalling yard. And actually, for me, it was... I'd already done a big layout. My previous layout was based around a station. So that was Bolton Trinity Road, and it had a 5-platform station, which was quite big. That was like one half of the whole layout was the station. And I guess I got it out of my system. And what I really wanted, which that layout didn't give me, was a lot of siding space. And in effect, the brief for Weir Yard was, what about making a fiddle yard that's scenic? And well, a scenic fiddle yard is a marshalling yard. In a way.
Yeah.
So I added in the elements of the hump, which is over here. We've got some of the other characteristic elements of, in particular, inspired by Tyne Marshalling Yard. But some of the elements are actually quite common to other marshalling yards. I've seen it at Tinsley Marshalling Yard, seen it at Tees Marshalling Yard. Basically, that's what this layout was born out of. The Unfamiliar Terrier 48 says, R.I.P. Jenny's Garden Railway. Ah, no, but there's a new garden railway in O-Gauge. Wardle Road says 315 in the house. Like. Absolutely. Don't let the trolls win. Let's show them that we really do love a good, happy, inclusive hobby that doesn't tolerate losers. So, let's make a stand.
That's it. Most of the time we'd say this show is for everyone. But I think in some circumstances, we can all agree it's not quite for everyone.
But actually, Roger Wolstenholme says, try a parcels depot. That's actually a great idea. And I can think of some places like, Manchester.
Looks like we've lost the mountain railway.
Yeah, let's just stop flicking through the cameras quite so fast. But Manchester Mayfield Station would be an interesting one. James Pett says, I must confess that I rather like stations on model railways. However, what happened there?
Nothing.
Right, so I thought you were pushing a locomotive. Ben Tullett, absolutely. Big hello to John Nutman and Gwion Rhys Davies. Good evening to you. But other news, Hellion have released some images of the livery images, projected, I'll get there in the end, projected liveries for their Mark II O-gauge coaches. There's some really nice liveries. So we've got Network Southeast, I believe, Regional Railways, also the Hebridean Green and Cream, which was quite interesting. So there's and several others. I think Network Rail Yellow, DRS livery as well. So they look really, really good. We also, the Hellion Rails Kerosene Castle, last I heard, that should be fairly soon, as is the Northeastern Railway rail car. Mark Wilson says Wolverhampton Low Level early 70s was a parcel depot. Absolutely, yeah. And there was actually a model of that. I'm sure I saw that in Railway Modeler at some point. Ruben Ashwell says TARDIS on the goods train, or is it moved?
No, it is.
Warbler Productions TARDIS on the bogey flat of the long freight. Oh, yeah. Sneaky. Right, so Somerset Andy says, we are a great community and we like what we do. As the specials sung, if you don't like it, you don't have to use it. It's up to you. Absolutely. And, it's one of the things that I think we need to all as a whole stamp out bullying. Bullying should have no place in our community. Any kind of discrimination should have no place in our community. And we should, as a community, not be afraid to stand up and say, no, that behaviour is unacceptable. We don't want that kind of unacceptable behaviour in our community. And it is nice to see, actually, on some of the Facebook groups, some of the very well-known trolls getting called out. And it was, it was gratifying to see people feel empowered to say, this is wrong. And it really, really is something that I'm proud that we as a community are able to do that.
Yes. Tim's Model Railway Different Videos asks, are we going to be doing people's videos tonight? Absolutely, from 8:30.
Ian Turvey says, Jenny, do you go to the trouble to renumber all of your wagons and coaches so they don't have the same numbers? I don't do renumbering. All I do is I have actually been buying this stuff for like 25 years. And what it means is... what
you probably have numbered...
so it's like the Bachmann 16-ton mineral wagons. They are actually, I've got about 80 or so different ones. They're all different, and it's simply all the ones that Bachmann have released over 25 years. Right, Davil says, new cab video on YouTube from Don Coffey. Lots of information about all aspects of railway operation and captions with it. Highly recommend.
Sounds good.
Paul Murphy says, bullying has no place in any community. Absolutely. Yes. John JMC says, I have a question. How much does a pug loco weigh? Real or model?
I'd expect that it weighs a fair amount, if not small. I mean, these things are pretty...
Well, the real ones, probably about 20 or 30. Right. James Pett says, I do like a bit of renumbering. Some people do. Some people do. Warbler Productions says, I'm trying to sort out a video, though. Getting it into my iPad is proving difficult. You've got to squeeze, I think. Bagmill Dave says...
can we just point something out? Flymore, I don't think that's a troll. Border Road says that's his girlfriend. Can you...
Tiana, I think that is Wardle Road's girlfriend. So, right. Hi Fox Junction says, sorry I'm late. Good evening, Jenny and Zoe. Good evening to you. And remember, a Monday Clubber is never late. They arrive precisely on time. It is the rest of us who are inconsiderately early. Right. The Unfamiliar Terrier 48 says, how are you, Jenny and Cupboard Monkey 2? Do you have the Bulliard Cocoa Diesel? If so, is it a good buy? I don't actually. Unfortunately, no, I don't. John JMC says, model in grams. You know what? I don't know. I will grab one here. They are heavier than they look. How heavy would you think that is?
That's heavier than I would expect for
but what do you
a locomotive that size.
What do you think it weighs? We haven't got any means to measure its weight. Excuse me, sorry, a hiccup.
I don't know, a tenth of a kilo?
What, you mean 100 grams?
That's the one. My brain will work tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I couldn't tell you, I'm afraid. I don't have any means to actually weigh it. Kelly Ashford Train says, nice to see some Steamies, but no GWR ones running. Well, we've got a J27 currently running in from, you're just seeing it, hove into view, passing a schools class. So we've got Southern and we've got London and North Eastern Railway. Although we do have the Great Western Railway AEC rail car there just dropping down behind the chat. So we do have the GWR represent. I'm just looking behind me actually. Do we have any? No, we don't have any GWR steam locomotives on the layout. I can see LMS, Southern.
Richard
LMS,
Swiderski suggests
Southern,
that we put
LMS.
the pug on the bathroom scales. Now, we would have done that, Richard, but we have a problem with the bathroom scales. They're lying. They keep saying that we're getting heavier, so it must be a lie.
I don't think they're sensitive enough to tell you what it was going to give us an accurate measurement. AFD Comp says Manchester's Red Bank carriage sidings was the parcel depot of choice and where the newspaper trains all began. Sadly, it's all gone now. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of weird to see that something that was there until the early 1990s, it's quite late, is now completely gone. Not even a single track remains through there. The route's just been torn up, and that was a huge place. Good night to you, Adi Pullen, and it's been great having you in. Roger Woolstonholme says, weighs enough to pull something. Somebody there says 80 grams. Definitely.
Hey, so I was nearly right.
Yeah. Oh, Worthington Model Railway says, just weighed a pug 120 grams.
I was so close.
You were, actually. Devil's
my abilities to not
ICT.
quite get the right number.
Devil's ICT says, if you were going to repaint a loco in black, what paint would you recommend?
Black paint.
I quite like Humbrol enamel, but I would
too.
Yes.
Because that was just horrible.
Hythe Kent asks, Jenny and anyone with Hornby's Railroad Flying Scotsman recent release. Oh yes, we did actually review that. Very generous person. I'm really sorry, I do forget your name. Sent it to the channel. So what experiences? Not had any experiences of it shorting. Somebody said they think that the stream has crashed. If you would like to check that. Are we coming through okay? It says Iron Horse Railway suggests refresh the stream. I believe that we are definitely running, so if in doubt,
I've got it here. See?
If in doubt, refresh the stream. Don't cross the streams, just refresh them. So let's have a look. We've got a lot of people in. We're looking at 303 people in. Don't forget that you need to tickle that like button. Share the stream as well. We only have 180 likes. Just remember, if we get 300 likes, then Zoe doesn't get slapped tonight. So
don't say stuff like that. We do not condone domestic violence.
No, we don't. We wouldn't do anything like that. But absolutely, we're doing all right tonight. So right, other news. Right, so we just mentioned the Hellion Mark IIs. We've also had an announcement that the Class 66s in O gauge from Daypol. We're looking good on that project. We've seen the EPs, I believe it was. And also, with the Ever Given now having docked at Felixstowe and unloaded, that we actually do have an announcement that I believe it's the bubble cars in O gauge are a definite one that was announced as being on that ship, so they should be forthcoming finally. No, we were just joking. It was a very poor taste joke. I apologise.
Unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes when you have comedians. And we just talk stuff, the first thing that comes into your head. And sometimes it might not be taken the best way.
Big hello to Ian the Train, who says, not working here. Evening anyway. I don't know. We do seem to... Some people are reporting issues.
I've checked it and it's fine from our end. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, but Ben Tullett, look, I do apologise. I was just I never slapped you. I've never slapped you, have I?
No.
Exactly. Right. Skipsy Trains asks, has anybody heard an update on the Daypol OO gauge Class 59? I did see something. I think they...
It rings a bell, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
I think we mentioned that in a previous Monday Club. But certainly I'd have to look into that. Wardle Road says, Class 66, not as good in 5-inch gauges. Shape at front is wrong. Hoo-hoo, them's fighting words. Given Cottesmore's just bought one of them. Iron Horse Rose says, nice. What are you dragging tonight? Driving, I think, maybe tonight. Right, we've got Schools Class number 3932. I think that's Epsom, but I could be wrong on that. That's one of the Hornby Super Detail models. We've also got one of the all-new Oxford Rail J27s in BR Early Crest livery. We have also got 2 Bachmann Class 25s, one of which is a 25-1, and the other one is a 25-3. And then we've also got a 24-1 from Bachmann, and we've got an AEC rail car from Hellion, which is a recent review on the channel. Do check that out. 9 different lighting functions, but you do have to actually fit a very particular decoder to get that. But what I did find is that the Trainomatic 21-pin MTC decoder does allow you to activate 6 of those functions, and that is a very easy to get hold of and quality decoder. J94, big hello to you. Great to see you in. Don't forget to tickle that like button, share the stream, and do please subscribe to the channel. It's always a great way to be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. This week we've got a review of the P2 Cock of the North railroad model from Hornby. See, we've not forgotten about those of you who maybe want to get a big locomotive on a more economical budget. We've got that coming up on Friday. And we're not neglecting...
That giant green one?
It is. And we're not...
Nice.
Yeah, and we're not neglecting the smaller gauges. We have the all-new Hellion Baldwin 242 in its 1906 livery. Is coming up for review and a full DCC fitting guide on Wednesday. You look like you're about to say something there.
Yes, Peter Leyland says, no idea what the Billy's replacement speakers joke is about. Any clues? This would love to know. Okay, any time that we accidentally leave the volume on while playing a video, or something goes too loud, or everything spikes, then that is because that part of the live stream is sponsored by Billy's replacement speakers.
Do we have any soft drinks? Because
I will go and get you a drink that is soft. I didn't realise you were drinking hard tea.
Yeah, I'm melting here.
Okay, I'll go and get you a soft drink.
Wow, look at this. That's melting actually quite quick. Let me just fill up the hopper from this, because this is going through cooling water very quickly.
It is actually, my goodness. So yeah, the Billy's replacement speakers thing is basically just a joke about accidentally spiking the volume and suggesting that Billy will replace your speakers.
Yes. As
For
long,
a good price.
yeah, as long as you caught his details before it blew out your speakers.
That is another part of the joke, yeah.
That's a bit like a mafia medical insurance. Basically, if you pay up, your legs don't get broken.
Yes.
Right. John JMC says, Zoe, grab the kitchen scales.
No, that
Ben
sounds like effort.
Ben says, Zoe, beer is soft, not if you freeze it. Underground Eric, they saved the British freight sector. I think we're talking about EWS, is that?
News.
Yeah. Underground Eric says, hopefully HS2 allows for more freight paths as each one is 50 plus lorries off the road. Absolutely, and it's one of the things that I think a lot of the people who complain about HS2 don't realise is that actually HS2 does actually benefit
Some of them
the rest.
actually do realise and don't care.
Yeah, the old NIMBY thing. But certainly, it's not. It's not about just saying, "Oh well, you should be spending that money on upgrading the existing network." All it does is benefit small areas. Actually, no, it moves a lot of rail traffic, especially commuter rail traffic, onto its own dedicated route, which frees up paths for local trains that stop at more stations and also freight. Wangok says, "I have that Hornby P2, brilliant loco." Absolutely, and we got a full review and DCC fitting. Ben Tullett says HS2 is currently causing traffic jams on the M42. Oh, are they building a bridge or something? Will Tucker says New Hellion Baldwin. It's actually the 242 Linton Basel is better at negotiating curves than its earlier sisters. Yeah, although the 262 Manning Wardle tanks I thought were particularly good and are certainly much easier if you want to either fit sound or a stay alive, then they do have space. Messing about with models, as I hear Tesco are looking to massively increase its use of rail freight due to the HGV driver shortage. Absolutely, and the co-op at the moment has a huge issue due to shortage of drivers, which you may actually be seeing if you go into your local co-op, that they are struggling to get their full deliveries. Somerset Andy says, Zoe, we've got Amiga... An A1200, the Rolls Royce of Amigas for the home computing market. Oh, that is found Kickoff 2 and loads more games. We'll have a bit of retro gaming. Nice. That is actually...
Retro gaming, I'm coming back quick.
Somerset Andy has found an Amiga 1200 in his loft with some games and is going to have a retro gaming night.
Super.
Nice. I had an Amiga 500 back in the day. In fact, it's an Amiga 500 Plus. Or was it? No, it was an Amiga 500, but in the case of an Amiga 500 Plus. It was right at the cusp where they'd started preparing to make the A500 Plus. So they'd used an A500 Plus case, but the innards were an A500. So actually, probably quite a rare machine if it still existed, which it doesn't.
You threw it in a skip, didn't you?
No, I threw it in Rakes Lane Incinerator.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Right. Oh, I needed that.
Computers will never catch on, says Russell Benton via a computer.
Wasn't it the head of IBM back in the 1940s and 1950s said that he envisaged a global market for computers as being 6, maybe 7 by the year 2000. Peter Leyland said started on the Commodore 64, then Amiga 500, then the 1200. Good games, good graphics. Absolutely, and quite a good price as well for some of the games.
I always found them expensive. But then again, I started when you could buy a game for £1.99. What's wrong?
What's making that noise?
What noise?
I don't know, I just thought I heard a noise.
Ow.
Oh,
My
sorry.
knee is popping.
Talk to the nice people, I've got my mouth full.
I'm just trying to see what we've got here. Jennifer Garrett says, thank you for the GWR railcar review this week. A model with a working drive shaft powering the bogies is impressive. despite the DCC issues.
DCC issues, to be honest, I think if Hellion had a more comprehensive manual, I think it would be a lot better. The Trainomatic decoder, which is actually what's in it now, activates everything apart from the cab lights and the saloon light. I can't find a way of remapping the CVs so that I could get the saloon lights on. I think that would have been nice to be able to get the saloon lights on. And that's the big shame, that appears to be on function 9. So it's pretty much inaccessible to all but a very small minority of decoders.
That's a real shame.
But certainly, it is a great model. It's chugging around at the moment. And was it Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, Jenny, what is that loco running on the far track on the back of the layout? I think that is, if that's the one with the white roof, that is the Hellion AEC rail car, is what that is.
It's a nice little thing, isn't it? It really does look lovely. So the Ellesmere project says they used the Amiga to do the special effects in Babylon 5.
Oh, everybody says that, but actually they used an Amiga 4000.
Yeah, it wasn't your bog standard Amiga 500, it was the top of the range thing.
Yeah, I remember that doing the rounds when I was at university, and it's like, it's not entirely true. Yeah, the Amiga 4000 looked much more like a standard desktop PC and was very expensive. You're talking thousands of pounds, and was what they were using.
It was a competitor to the Mac.
Absolutely.
And it acted like it.
Yeah, and with a price tag to match. So when people say things like the front cover to the LP Boss Drum and Different Drum by The Shaman were designed on an Amiga, what they don't tell you is it wasn't your A500 they used, it was actually an A4000. Right. Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, thank you, Jenny. Absolutely welcome. And yeah, I mean, there's actually number 22, which that is a model of, is preserved. I think it's... I could be wrong. There's certainly one, I think, at Didcot Railway Centre.
Here's a good question from Tim's Model Railway. Does anyone know what the American locomotive is in Back to the Future 3?
I have stood next to it, and actually, the one that they used was a prop, pure and simple prop. I remember in the it would have been the early 1990s. It was at Universal Studios in Florida, and as a family we went there, and it was parked up outside the Back to the Future ride. And so I got a very good close look at it, and it is just a prop. It was made of plywood, bits of metal. It never was a real railway locomotive, and it used as like a smoke generator to create the smoke effects. So the one which was actually running, the one that they crashed was maybe a prop. However, it appears to have been a model of or a replica of an 1897 model Rogers 460 mixed traffic engine. And I am not reading that off the Back to the Future wiki, honest. And also, the one that went into the canyon was a model, just in case you're wondering.
It's only a model.
Somewhere online there's actually a photograph of it being filmed. Flymo Chairman 1 says, is that a four-wheeler at Didcot, James Petch, the AEC one? No, the AEC one has bogies, so it's got 8 wheels. Hythe Kent says, any bad reports about the railroad Flying Scotsman shorting and derailing? My experiences of the railroad Flying Scotsman is that actually I've had no problems whatsoever with it. Southern Train Girl, absolutely right. There's a GWR rail car at the Kenton East Sussex Railway, which is number 20. Yeah, number 20 and number 22 survive.
Can I just point something out? On the Back to the Future wiki, it says, although the events of Back to the Future 3 take place in 1895, the locomotive pushing the time machine was built in 1897. It's 12 years too soon.
Yes, but I suppose that
A film involving a time-travelling car can get away with that sort of thing.
TRS Train says, I do love a GWR steam engine with a rake of chocolate and cream. Absolutely, and I must admit, I've been trying to put together a rake of Mark 1s in the chocolate and cream. This one I took off. The J27 couldn't quite handle the full rake, although there is one crimson and cream in that livery, which is another one which I would like a full rake of. Oh, excuse me. I have got loads of blue-grey, got loads of the like parcels and departmental liveries, like olive green all over blue. I've got a full rake of intercity, and then I've got dribs and drabs, but I just... For some reason, and I got a full rake of the Southern Region green. But in terms of chocolate and cream, it's only recently that I've been managing to pick up odd ones to make up a set. And the crimson and cream have been so far very elusive, unless you want to pay huge amounts of money. Right. Glocum Model Railway, evening to you. Madden Steam Railways is back. Big hello to you, welcome back. Matt Ovell says the train ended up as a time machine. That's how it managed to push the DeLorean before it was built. Iron Horse Row says no, it was standard Pico points. I think it's about the Flying Scotsman. Iron Horse Railway says all my Bobo locals, my 37, which is Coco, negotiate points just fine, which is what's making me think the bogies are just too big for what I'm asking of it. One thing I would say is do check the wheel back-to-backs. A lot of issues are generally caused by the back-to-backs being out. John War, hi to you. Great to see you. Lance 2021, good evening to you as well. Great to see you as well. Dongit's Model Railway says, I find the green, crimson and chocolate that I don't want are the ones that go cheapest. Yeah, I mean... I was very lucky. I built up a huge rake of blue-grey coaches back in the days when they were about 16 or 18 pounds each, brand new. And later on, I also got a lot of I got a full rake of the Southern Green ones from Model Zone just before they shut down, because they had them remaindered to about £15 a pop. So I bought loads of them and made what I called my green train. But I don't remember the crimson and cream or the chocolate and cream ones ever being marked down, and I wasn't actively buying them back at the start when they were really quite inexpensive. So now I'm left trying to pick them up as and when. All right, David Watt says, how many Pullman coaches do you have? Any 12-wheeler ones, and what about mail coaches? I have 2 12-wheeler Pullmans from Hornby, and then I have a further 9 Pullmans of the matchboarding ones, all from Hornby with the light-up table lamps. And then I've got 2 Pullmans from Bachmann, the later metal-sided ones. One is in the proper Pullman livery, and the other one is in the much later blue and grey livery when they were declassified. Manthony 1956 says, should you get the opportunity to go to Railtown 1897 State Historic Park in Jamestown, California, I think you would quite enjoy it. Many Hollywood TV and movies were filmed using this railroad. Aha! Yeah, certainly when we get out to the US, there are a lot of places I would love to go to. Right.
Can I just point out that you've got 11 minutes to send any of your videos that you're wanting to showcase on tonight's show to Zoe at zoerobinson.com. Send the URL only. Do not send the video itself. It will not get through. But we will be playing them from 8:30.
Absolutely. Other news as well. I keep trying to get through the news and I keep getting distracted. The Sonic models...
Sorry, Jen. Is it really distracting when people talk to you while you're trying to do the news?
Yeah. Sonic models 56XX062 tanks, which Kelly Ashford will like because they are a Great Western Railway tank locomotive, have finally arrived, gone on sale. A number of them have sold out. Oh, can you do the honours there? Just be careful, careful. Well, actually, hold on. I could back the train up, I suppose. So they are there, and also they have announced their next model. Hold on, that's going to come back in a moment. Oh gosh, it's got a very slow curve for deceleration and acceleration. Absolutely Flymo Chairman 1, send video links only.
Thanks very much,
YouTube
Flymo.
preferred is its URL titled Monday Club. Absolutely. And just putting Monday Club in the title just really does help us to be able to locate it in Zoe's inbox. Valley's 56XX. What was that about 56XX's? That is that Sonic Trains 56XX in N-Gauge are now in stock.
Sorry, was that Sonic the Hedgehog?
No.
We've got a hedgehog. Sonic.
Will you sit down?
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. But they are selling out very, very quick, and they have announced their next model, and I can't for the life of me remember what it is.
Was it a Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, it was not.
Well, it should have been.
Larry Rogers says, completely agree, Leslie. I have a GS4 in my fleet.
I think that's a conversation they're having in the chat.
Yeah. J94 says the Sierra number 3 locomotive was used for Back to the Future Part 3. Aha.
Right.
Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase asks if we can show any footage from the Pete Waterman exhibition. Unfortunately, we can only show that if it comes in from the person who filmed it.
I believe 2 weeks ago we did
show some from 2 weeks ago. James Pett says the next model is the J50. Absolutely, I knew it was something like that. So the workhorse of the Linear. B Mozza says J70 is the next loco. Oh gosh, so there could be 2 that have been announced. So James. So where? No, I'm sure I saw a J50 announced.
By who?
They Sonic models in N-Gauge. J50. So if a J70 has also been announced, there could be 2 announcements. Wamgok says sunny here in Somerset. It's actually quite warm here, it has to be said. Right.
1st of August 2021, Sonic models announced N-Gauge LNER J50 according to World of Railways.
J50, boom! Lance 2021 says, I just don't get why Hornby has increased prices by 10% and companies the like of Daypel have only increased by 4%. It may be down to supply chain issues, but certainly prices are going up, mostly because the cost of transport at the moment is through the roof. We're talking about prices having gone from about $2,000 to ship a container, that's $2,000 US, to around $14,000 to ship the same
everything's messed
container.
up at the moment. Absolutely everything is messed up at the moment, thanks to all kinds of problems.
Also bear in mind that the supermarkets and Amazon have pre-booked all of the container traffic from China for pretty much the months of November and December, which means that if it hasn't actually been booked already, then there is no space for it. We're also seeing a huge hike in the price of processors. Now, the processors we're talking about, we're not talking about a computer processor in your PC, that kind of thing. These are small, tiny logic boards that do simple tasks, referred to as a processor because it does process simple commands, runs simple software. But the demand has gone through the roof and supply has dropped through the floor. And unfortunately, part of the demand issues has been because of this stupid drive for the Internet of Things. All need these little chips in. Some white goods need quite a lot of these little chips in. And that is just really, really driving a lack of supply because, a ramping up in demand.
Yeah.
We're seeing Ford and General Motors in the US saying that they're having to cut back production of cars because they cannot get the processors. And these are the same processors that are used in things like DCC decoders, both locomotive decoders, but also in accessory decoders and things like these, your DCC control systems. So we've already seen reports from TCS in the US has started scaling back its advertising simply because there is no product going to be available to advertise. They're running out of processors.
What's the point of advertising if you can't sell?
Exactly. You might as well save some money. And the problem is that they are not alone. So I believe that we're going to see that a lot of other manufacturers of, in the main things like DCC decoders is where you're going to see it hit in the hobby, are going to basically not have products available. And what we've actually found at DCC Concepts is that even if you effectively pre-buy the processors, it does not guarantee that you get them.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't guarantee that you get them at the price that you paid for. The lead time for a processor, if you order today, is somewhere in the region of 90 days.
My goodness.
But you have to pay now, and then in 90 days' time, you pay the amount it's gone up in price by. And that just puts you in the waiting list for them. And that is the big problem that a lot of smaller companies are not facing up to.
Yeah, how can you, though? How can you say, well, I think we can produce this amount, so we'll order this amount of stuff, but we can't afford it when it arrives. It feels... I don't like to do this kind of comparison, but remember that in our history books about Weimar Germany, the guy who had enough money in his wheelbarrow to buy a loaf of bread when he got in the queue, but not when he got to the front.
Yeah. East Eel says even plastic tubs are crazy prices now. Food storage boxes for the kitchen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, and we're already seeing as well.
This is what happens when you concentrate all your manufacturing in one country, and then you can't get the shipping back out of that country.
Not just that. It's just the global demand for rubbish,
Yes.
for random products.
Yeah.
And what we're already seeing as well is that high bulk, low value items, it is not worth manufacturers buying them from China anymore. So you'll see product ranges shrink because even if it's a popular item, if it is low value but high bulk, they can't afford to ship it.
Yeah, they need the space for something else.
Yeah. Lance 2021 says the hobby is unfortunately becoming very excessive in price now. If I'm being honest, I don't know how others feel about it. And that actually reminds me, this is actually supposed to be the topic. Now, we had the news about Warley being cancelled, and we got siphoned off on a Magical Mystery Tour. But support your local retailer. They need you now more than ever. And
I couldn't agree more, Jen. I couldn't agree more.
So, we're going to be name-checking retailers. We want to hear from you in the comments. If you want to name a retailer that you use that's local to you, anywhere in the world that is particularly good, then we want to see you name-check them. Let us know who the great retailers are that you believe deserves your business. So I'm going to start us off. I always have a lot of good things to say for Tim at Arcadia in Shore. Big up to Tim and the Arcadia posse. But also Jim at the Loco Shed in Whitefield. Big up to Jim and the Loco Shed posse. And then we've got Mick at Durham Trains of Stanley. Big up to the Durham Trains of Stanley posse. We've got Hattons, of course, Rails, Kerno Model Centre, Invicta Models. Bolton Model Mart, absolutely. Also 53A Models, Frisinghall Model Centre. I just want to name check all of these. So what have we got? We've got Tony's Trains of Rugby, David Scott says, absolutely. Jennifer Garrett says Carnforth Models at Carnforth Station. Tony's Trains of Rugby from Langton Road. Aiden's Railway says Durham Trains of Stanley. Sue at Putnam Junction. Not sure where it's living, but I've seen it a couple of times now. It's somebody else's comment. Ham Shackleton, Grimy Times in Warrington. Pico Modelorama and Beer, Oswestry Road TMD. Gosh, they're going to disavow the top two quick. Southern Train Girl, Andy at Kent Garden Railways. Absolutely. Is that the one where you can ride a model train to the shop? It's at a garden centre. The Growler Blackwood. I want to go there, Jen. I want to go there. Yeah, the Growler Blackwood Engage layout. C&M Models in Carlisle. Absolutely. Richard Swiderski, the model shop in Northwich. Mick Tag, WD Models in Chesterfield. D. John Paradon, lover of Kent Garden Railways. Oh god, they're going off the top far too fast. Larry Rogers, in the US, I like model train stuff. Mario's Trains and Legacy Station. Also, Jim's Junction in Billington, Montana. Big up for them as well. Ruben Ashwell, the Signal Box in Anstey in Leicestershire. Valley's 56XX, Antics in Cardiff. Mel's, the Train World Shop here in Australia. Oswestry Road TMD, South Devon Railway, Buckfastleigh. David Watts, WD Models in Chesterfield. Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83, Hamleys of Norwich. Michael Stevens says, shows your lack of knowledge on where processors are made, more than one worldwide location. Silicon shortage is the issue. Ask your boss at DCC this. Yeah, a lot of the processors that we use are actually made in the US and then shipped to China. The problem also arises because effectively the US government does get to say, look, we want you to prioritize X, Y, and Z processor. Obviously, national defense is another big area. So production is, we're producing more processors than we ever had. The problem is demand is through the roof because, if you want a toilet roll holder that is connected to the internet so it can download the latest tune off wherever and play it to you in tinny fashion whilst you wipe your bottom, then it has a thing in a processor in.
Yeah, I want one of those.
No, you don't. Lance 2021 says
Also,
KS Models in Stevenage. Hold on. Lance 2021 also says DCC Concepts in Settle.
I have to say one thing.
Yeah.
I realise what you're trying to say when you put that comment in, but shows your lack of knowledge is not what we expect. That we're a welcoming group. I want to say this in a way that's not harsh, but gets the point across. We don't like it when people sound like they're belittling others. You can disagree, you can correct, and that's not a problem. But don't try and put someone down at the same time.
You have angered the Zoe. No, but seriously, no, it's I am aware of where they're made, and I am aware of the nuances far more than I can actually talk to you about. Because of NDAs, I can't tell you an awful lot of what I know.
Yeah, she's got a contract to her head.
Yeah, and what it means is that I can't tell you everything, but I can give you a vague idea, and what you're getting is the vague idea.
Yeah. Russell Benton is in the same boat as I am. Where do you get these toilet roll holders? I want one as well.
And there we have the problem. Right, Shanghai 264359, big hello to you. Lance 2021 says Par's Model Shop in Lowestoft.
Iron Horse Railways. To be fair, a musical toilet roll holder sounds fun, but knowing my luck, it would only play bum notes.
Yes,
I love it.
Tim McKee says, did anyone confirm that the Warley show is postponed until 2022? Yes, that was the story that we led with. The news broke about an hour and a half before we actually went on air. Now, we're getting a lot of really great model shops being name-checked in the chat. Alex Dent says, my local model shop is Caister Loco in Caister, Lincolnshire. We've also got, let's have a look, the model shop on Kingston Road in Fratton. Says Evan Terry. Russell Benton says Billy's replacement toilet roll holders. Oh yeah, yes. Definitely. Let's have a look.
We should start now looking at bringing up the.
Oh, look at Nigel Cole. Wah, wah, wah. Are those toilet roll holders bog standard? Okay, so on that bum note, we're going to move over to some of your videos.
Yes, if you want to keep talking about whatever it is you're talking about, Jen, because I don't understand most of the time. I would say I don't listen, but I think we already know that that's true.
What I will say is, use it or lose it on your local model shop.
Absolutely. Once they're gone, they're not coming back.
And what I will say is that we have lost many fine model shops, so I just want to give a little shout out as well to some of those who have fallen in the line of duty of serving our hobby. The Farnworth Model Centre, gone but not forgotten. Model Rail Burnley, Milne's Bridge Models, the signal box in Rochester, Kent, the whole Model Zone empire, which was actually a huge boon on the high street as a shop window for our hobby. Stuart Putnam Junction says, Scooney Hobbies in Kirkcaldy and Sports and Model Shop in Dingwall. Also, don't forget as well, we have got Harbin Hobbies in Edinburgh. Don't forget to call in and visit them if you're ever in Edinburgh. Worthington Model Railway says, what happened to the signal box in Rochester? Unfortunately, it became part of Model Zone. That wasn't the unfortunate bit, but Model Zone went bust. And unfortunately, that's what happened. Gmail user asks, what is the topic of this live chat? Well, at the moment...
Model Railway news chat and having a bit of a laugh with the Model Railway community.
But also we're name-checking all of the model shops as well. We want to name-check all the great model shops in the UK, in Europe, in the US, Canada, Australia, everywhere. Do let me know what model shops you recommend. So also I'd like to have a big shout out for Metro Models out in, I think they're in Sydney. So that's in Australia. I'm trying to think of some overseas ones. I think we had Jim's Junction in Billingham, Montana. B. Mozza says, when did Milne's Bridge close? Tony was a good laugh. I'm assuming they've closed. If Milne's Bridge Models hasn't closed, then somebody please let me know. I assumed that they're gone. I couldn't find them. Pennine Models in Haworth. I really, really wanted to get to see them whilst we were on holiday, but we didn't manage to. Graham Smith Thompson says, Ron Lines in Southampton. Vobert Becking, PD Models. Absolutely, we have reviewed some of their products. Up in Orkney, definitely.
Milne's Bridge Models in Huddersfield, yeah?
Yeah.
Appears to still be there.
Oh, right. Big up Milne's Bridge Models, not one of the fallen. And we are happy to say that we've actually discovered that they're still on the go. So,
yeah, I'm just having a look at the websites.
So big up to Milne's Bridge Models. Do visit them if you're in the Huddersfield area. That's actually good to know because I thought they'd gone. Ben Davis says, Jennifer Model Shop, The Junction Box. Simon Trains Model Rower Showcase. Bought a NSE, a Network Southeast Gov van for £12 from Chester Model Centre last week. Nice shop. Absolutely. Madden Steam Railways, I'm sorry to say that it's now 20:35 British summertime and I have to go to one of my volunteering jobs tomorrow at 0900. So I get up at 0600 in the morning. Catch you next week. Unfortunately, I have to get up at the same time, but it's been great having you in. Don't forget to tickle the like button and share the stream as well. And thank you for coming. The Growler Blackwood Engage layout will be attending my first show since Model Rail Scotland, Tings, in early September. Hope it's not cancelled like Warley. Just booked my overnight accommodation and tickets for this Saturday. Right, Ian Coulson. Yes, the Caboose chain. Absolutely, I've heard many great things of the Caboose chain. I know that Robert Steers, if you're still in the chat, has mentioned them as well, as has my boss too. Richard Johnson at DCC Concept speaks of them very, very highly. David, it's my Model Railway, little train shop in Tasmania. Absolutely. Leslie Gilpin, BC Shaver and Hobby in Victoria, British Columbia. Somerset Andy, East Somerset Models. Hopefully we'll get to see them soon. Absolutely. Hereford Model Centre. Boom! Big up the Hereford Model Centre posse. David, it's my Model Railway. Certainly a great source for bargains and new old stock. Has train time survived, asks Moonglum. It's the closest shop to me in Rottingdean. Central Hobbies in Vancouver, British Columbia. And Henry Van Wyk says, in South Africa, Dream Trains in Bloemfontein. Absolutely. Anne's Hobbies in Coscob. C-Team, not sure which
Connecticut?
state that is. Could be. Right.
I believe it is. So this is the first of the pictures, and it's from Charles Gibbs. And have a look at that, Jen.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, sorry, the J27 is starting to struggle on the track. That is really nice. That's a Terrier, I believe.
Doesn't it look lovely?
Is it a Terrier or is it a P-Class?
Well, we'll find out once I read them out later on. But I just love the way he does these photos. The lighting is amazing.
Yeah, and that style where it's sort of like a vignette.
Yeah. Hey, you got it correct. Oh,
now that I think is an M7.
That is wonderful. The depth of it as well. It keeps going backward, and it just looks so
with
nice.
that sort of like steel bridge. I mean, I'd love to see an overview. Have we seen an overview of this?
I don't believe we have. And final one, he sent 3. Oh my goodness, that looks real. The
Q1 Ugly Duckling. That's actually a really good weathering job on that.
Yeah,
it looks
that's
oily
lovely.
and grimy. Well maintained, but oily and grimy.
Yeah, it looks like one that's been used, but with love.
Yeah, I actually really do like the Q1. It's got this sort of ugly charm to it that I find aesthetically pleasing. Dennis Christiansen says, yes, it's Connecticut. Absolutely brilliant.
Feel my ability to remember things.
Skipsy Trains asked if one of those was an O2. I think the previous to this was an M7.
If you could go back to the
cameras.
So I'm going to drop back after this. So the first one was a Kernow class O2 tank locomotive.
Oh, you got that correct there, yes. Skipsy Trains. It was me who was wrong.
And then a Hornby class M7.
I got that correct, yes.
And a Hornby class Q1.
Absolutely. Do we have a picture?
I will quickly check.
Yes, we do. That's fine.
Yeah, we do. So
because there's a bit of lag. I'm monitoring the stream.
I know.
So Gordon Hanning says if prices keep going at this rate for much longer, there will be very few model railway shops at all.
Unfortunately, that may be the case, but we just have to deal with it.
Charles McGowan. So Charlie McGowan said, Hearn's Hobbies in Melbourne. Absolutely, yeah. I know a few of the Australian ones. I know that DCC Concepts do supply quite a few. So that's how I know of them. Will Tucker says, Michas Bahnhof is a fantastic model railway shop in Berlin. Loads of stock and very helpful speaking English. Absolutely brilliant. So let's have a look. Roger Woolston says Great Eastern in Norwich. Oh, absolutely, yes. Can't believe I missed that. And Pars in Lowestoft, both very good. Also, I think somebody probably has mentioned Cheltenham Model Centre, but I'm going to give a shout out as well for the Cheltenham Model Centre as well.
To the Cheltenham Posse?
Yeah, big up to the Cheltenham Posse. Right, Redwater Train Care Depot, hello to you. I noticed we've got a little bit of jiggling.
I believe we may be struggling. We may have to call time early.
Oh, DT Head says Metro Hobbies are in Melbourne. I knew it was somewhere like that. I was just waiting to see who would be the first one to spot that. But yes, I know. Big up to Metro Hobbies, actually a big stockist of, amongst other things, DCC Concepts products out in Oz. John War says Buffers Model Railways in Devon. Is that in Axminster? I've had some really good special commissions from them. Are we struggling?
It's struggling. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to follow. We're gonna have to deal with the rest later. It's just not coming through.
Unfortunately, we're struggling on bandwidth. So
it's not even bandwidth. This is processor. It's struggling.
I think it's overheating.
Yes.
So what about if we turn the thingy?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Put the one that's sending water into your computer, Jen.
Shush. Yeah.
I don't think we can keep going with the videos. I'm sorry.
Just give it a moment. Gwyn Reese Davies says Cheltenham Model Centre is excellent. Absolutely. Ridgeway Park 00 Mills Model Shop. Bought my gold rolling road there. Excellent. Really great model, actually. They're really great for maintaining stuff. Kelly Ashford Trains. Prices will drop again, I'm sure. We can thank our lucky stars. Hattons and Chester Model Shop. Big up to the Chester Model Shop posse. Are still going strong. Dongit's Model Railway. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Collets in Exmouth have been getting a lot of my business recently. Yeah, and John Wyers confirms, yes, Jenny, it's in Axminster. Absolutely, they're in an old petrol station, or certainly used to be. John Linton says Zitniks in Pinellas Park, Florida is excellent. Absolutely. And also Ben Tullett says, remember, Jenny, all of the preserved railways tend to sell new model railway items, plus you're supporting a good cause. Absolutely, there's a really good. In fact, there's a couple over at the East Lancs Railway, and they do some really great second-hand as well. Skipsy Train says, highly recommend Upstairs Downstairs, Sandown, Isle of Wight. Max is great. So big up to the Upstairs Downstairs posse in Sandown. Absolutely, yeah. Redwater Train Care Depot says, Kerno MRC is the way forward. Proper Kernosha. Absolutely big up to the Kerno Model Rail Centre posse. And of course, they've got 2 shops as well. David Scott, no, you didn't. I did a shout out to Durham Trains of Stanley, and a few other people have mentioned them as well. So a big up to Mick and the posse. Right, Ham Shackleton, it's a question to you actually. Game Hammer Classic Gaming, overheating PC. Did you do as I suggest and clean all the muck and fluff from the fans and heat sinks? I do from time to time. It's probably due another service. Alan Reynolds, PVA, J-Cloth, Alan Reynolds, Dover Model Shop. Turner's in London. RD has been there all my life. Excellent. Kelly Ashford Trains. I could get a steam train ride on the Llangollen Railway this Saturday. Absolutely brilliant. There's a lot of great trains available. Right, now,
This says Skipsy Trains.
Oh, yes, the viaduct. Hey, it's looking good now.
Yes, he's been doing some work on it after the heat wave.
Oh, you've insulated and lined the loft. That looks really good, actually. Now you've got the backdrop behind it. That is looking really good. I love this viaduct because it's like 4 tracks wide. Look at the seagull.
I do like that. And look at the way that the water is just splashing off the wood.
I love the way you got all these complex junctions on the viaduct. Oh, a bit of flickerage there. And that may actually just be with the frame rate on the camera rather than something that's visible in real life.
Could well be.
Bagnall Dave says Kerno Model Rails also in Guildford. Absolutely, yes, because they've got 2 locations.
I love the way you can just see the top of the house. Everything has levels and it goes up and down.
Yeah.
The world is not flat, and that's what I love to see on models.
But I love this this model and this bridge. And look, if you notice the points, the track's painted white, and you see that a lot on the real railways because it stops solar radiation from heating them up and making them jam.
Yeah.
That is actually a really great viaduct. The 4 tracks wide, it really is special. I love the way you've got the back scene in now as well, and it really is bringing that out.
It's looking
nice.
Lovely. It really is.
Really nice. There you are. It's a pub with a beer garden.
Is it the Railway Arms?
No, it'll be... What is it?
The Railway Arms.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, no, the Skipsy Arms, it says.
Oh, perfect. That is really,
fantastic.
Really nice.
It's got a scout group in it.
No. That's Morris Dancers.
Oh, it is.
Slap your knees in... Oh, and that's a D-class in the full South Eastern and Chatham Railway lined green.
You do love a D-class.
Oh, which is actually, there's some other news. Rails of Sheffield have completely sold out of every single version of the D-class.
Wow.
So I must actually ask them if they're planning another production run, given the success of those.
I would expect they would.
I think that Monsell Green, different running number. SECR Green, different running number. The BR, lined BR as well, different running number, would do really well. Oh, we're seeing some more of the layout. This looks like the station area under construction. So that's a 68. I've got those wagons. They're the Acura scale nuclear wagons. Really, really good. John PW22 says, I was wondering about the painted track, which I spotted on the Loo branch near Coombe Junction. Thanks, Jen for the Jen. Jen for the Jen. Absolutely, yeah. Oh, I love the boat. The water. I love when you've got the little ripples on the water and the details on. This is really, really nice.
This is superb. And he's got little bits of marking on the side there, so that because everything's not pristine.
Yeah,
just like the real world.
This is really, really nice. Oh, look at the Pullmans. That's lovely.
This is a fantastic layout. I'm really impressed.
Manthony 1956 says, I see that Hobbies Unlimited of San Lorenzo, California, where I bought my first train 55 years ago, is still in existence, selling trains. So brilliant.
Excellent.
Big up to Hobbies Unlimited and all of the Hobbies Unlimited posse in San Lorenzo, California.
55 years is a good run.
And Keith Murray says, Invergowrie Model Centre by Dundee. Absolutely brilliant. And do keep name checking all of these great places. I've just seen Alton Model Centre mentioned sliding off the top.
So
and don't forget, share this stream. Let's get the word out there about all these great model shops around the world that need your custom. Because, you know, use it or lose it. And the problem is, there's only so much that you can get mail order.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the little bits that are the most important. And also the ability to browse in a proper bricks and mortar shop
and
is
to
really
talk
great.
to someone who knows what they're talking
Absolutely. Because I find, oh, that looks nice. I find actually that going in and browsing, I may not even know about a product or a scenery item or something, but seeing it there in the flesh is what is worth its weight in gold. The Growler Blackwood Engage layout says, is Invergary Model Shop still in business? Apparently so. Called a few weeks ago and it was locked up at 2 p.m. on a Saturday. It might have been on holiday or something like that. But James Pett says, Train Times models of Eastbourne, and big hello to Woven Model Railway. It's great to see you in. Alex Dent says, did you know the Class 68 is the same model as the Class 88? I think, yeah, one's electric, one's diesel. But thank you very much for that, Skipsy Trains. That was great to see.
That was wonderful. And
really
normally
enjoyed
I wouldn't do an entire video.
But that was really, really
good.
It
was just too good not to, you know?
Just check that our cameras come up. We do have to check this thing.
Yes, at this point in time, we do have to check.
Why are we getting the spinny circling thing of doom?
Because it hasn't updated since we last looked. Yes, our cameras are up.
Excellent. So we're always
if I
worth
can
a
jump
check.
back to this and make sure I'll bring the chat back up for you. Because I know you like to know what people are saying.
So, see you later. I think Somerset Andy is heading us. Has got to go now. Thanks,
care.
Jenny and Zoe, and everyone for a great stream. All take care.
Well,
Bye for now.
that was a great
You take
one.
care, and it's been great having you in as well. And Peter Leyland says, I totally agree. Browsing in the model shop is part of the experience. There's so many things where I go into a model shop and I don't know what I want until I see it.
Yes.
Stephen Donohan says Trident Trains. Absolutely. Big up to everybody at the Trident Trains Posse.
Yeah.
Posse.
I think that would be the more acceptable statement.
Ham Shackleton says cameras working but jerky. I think we're getting a bandwidth issue somewhere.
I think we're getting a processor issue.
So it is getting warm up here.
I think we're going to have to call it a little bit early.
Flymo Chairman
the
1
final video.
absolutely says subscribe, hit the bell, and choose all for notifications. It's free. Just give the notifications to what. Keep an eye on your browser bell. Absolutely. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's really important to make sure that you do not miss out on any of the upcoming videos. And this week we have got an assortment for you. We have got the 242 Baldwin.
I need to look at this one.
This is another. Oh, I love the 37.
Yeah, this is going to the dogs, and it's a very short video. But look at this.
I like the weathering on
colours.
those hoppers is great. Absolutely great. I love that. Are they the HUOs from a Curascow?
They look like it, don't they?
Yeah, really, really nice. I do like the Satlink ZDV wagon in the foreground. Is that a model rail special commission? I would love one of those, but sadly they sold out so quick. So many trains.
Yeah.
We've got a HST. Oh, my favourite livery.
We have seen this layout before.
Yes, we have.
I love the diner style roof on the station at the back. Yeah, the American 50 style diner.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in there.
Yeah.
Oh, and we've got another train of the Acura scale tipplers. Really great. So we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 parallel tracks, but a very intensive train service. There's a lot of trains in the same section here, is what I'll say.
Gmail user has an interesting statement. I can't wait for when technologies like Hyperloop will replace railways industry completely forever. Hyperloop isn't a replacement to railways. It's like the next stage on. It's a new evolution. Yeah. So it's still going to be railways. It's just going to look very different. It's like space age railway. Space train.
Space train. Gwian Reese Davies says, unfortunately, R&R hobbies in Swansea reflects badly. Very unfriendly and rude. Oh, I'm sorry
to hear that.
I try to avoid speaking badly of anyone, and it's a great shame. Unfortunately, there are a few shops out there that do have a reputation for not exactly being the best customer experience.
Oh, that's a shame.
But luckily, most of the model shops out there are great places to go. So really do want to big up all of the model shops out there. So please, please, please plug your favourite local model shop the chat. We really need to know where they are because it's use it or lose it.
I'm going to call it here because we're having so much choppiness. We've got a few, we've got a fair amount of videos left, but the computer is having trouble and it is 5 to 9. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone who sent them in, and we will be doing... we'll do an extended session of them next week to catch up. Yeah, the cameras are failing and everything, Jen.
Oh, that's such a shame because that's a really good camera.
Yeah, Donget's Model Railway and a few others have rightly pointed out Hyperloop isn't designed for Earth. It's designed for Mars because it's Elon Musk and his weird visions of the future, which I really hope it works out because we do need to get our asses to Mars.
But I found a different camera view that does work, so we'll have it on that for a while.
Yay!
So we're not quite going yet, but Kelly Ashford Train says Chester Model Shop and Hattons are my favourites. Brilliant. There's some great model shops.
Jen, I have a question here that I need to read out from Anthony 1956. Doesn't every modeler have more locomotives than they could ever use and still want more?
Yes.
I disagree. I think you do use your models. You may not use them all the time, but you do like them and you use them.
Can I just say that as much as it pains me to admit this, I have locomotives that have not even seen the kiss of daylight in years. My home.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Jen has finally admitted that she doesn't use all her trains and therefore doesn't need any more.
David Watts asks, what is Olivia's trains like? Unfortunately, I'm afraid that is one of the ones that I have seen a lot of bad things posted about. And I've only ever been there once. And I'll be honest, I was made to feel unwelcome. And I put it down to him having a bad day. The Ellesmead Project says, Jennifer, great show again. Get that PC serviced or replaced. Actually, it's fairly new.
It's actually just overheating because of the
temperature. It is very warm
It's about 40 degrees near.
57305 Northern Princess. Just seen you in the chat. Big hello to you. Southern Train Girl says...
for my t-shirt.
Are we?
Yes.
What, requesting that you... Okay.
I've got requests that I'll leave it on.
Oh, my word.
Fast.
Leslie Gilpin, that's a name I've not heard for ages. Is Kittle Hobby still open on the Gower near Swansea? I don't know. I would love to know. A lot of people saying Olivia's Trains. Skipsy Train says Olivia's Trains. Oh dear, leave it there. Unfortunately, yeah. But we did deal with the trolls. We got rid of those losers. But there, to have a fair and balanced view, David, it's my Model Railway, says I purchased from Olivia by phone and found them very helpful. So it's good to hear good experiences as well. So I always like to get a good... fair review. And Ben Tullett says, Jenny, next week run the locos that you've never run on your layout.
Yes,
that might be a good one. I could I'm just trying to think what there would be. There's quite a few actually that never get used.
Gordon Hanning has a very extreme way of cooling down a computer. Put it in a bucket of cold water.
Oh yeah,
that's a trick that will work only once.
Yeah, it's like, oh, shall we just make some toast in the bath? Don't do that. Naive Gauge says, vacuum out the dust from the CPU fan to make the computer work better. Yeah. Absolutely, definitely. Ian the Train says, hey everyone, Model Junction in Bury St Edmunds, one of the best in East Anglia. So big up the Model Junction in Bury St Edmunds posse. Brilliant shop, brilliant. Ruben Ashwell, water and electricity don't mix. Absolutely. Now, remember kids, don't mess about. Right. Just seeing if there's any more model shops to name check. Last call for name checking your favourite local model shop the world over. David, it's my Model Railway says Jenny's Locos. SABLE. Ian Turvey says I use a small model shop called Our Place in Alcester in Warwickshire. Well-stocked shop with a very helpful and friendly proprietor. Absolutely. So look, let's just do a roundup of the news, and also today's topic, even though we didn't actually spend a lot of time on it, is big up your local model shop.
Yes.
Use it or lose it. Your local model shop needs your support now more than ever. J. Paul Anderson says, Kuiper's Hobby
House.
Utrecht. I am probably really butchering the pronunciation.
I think that's Kuiper's Hobby House.
Could
in
be.
Utrecht.
Classic Rail in Ticehurst, says Southern Train Girl. Houston WHAP, Wicker Model Shop in Portchester. Leslie Gilpin says Lord and Butler in Cardiff. Ian Coulson says the Inverness Model Shop has closed. Oh no! Man down!
Well, it is 9 o'clock at night.
But yeah, it's unfortunately we do have a sadly ever-growing list of the fallen, how they have served us and will long be remembered. John Duffield in Chelmsford says Winton Model Railway. 57305 Northern Princess says not my favourite, but A Oaks in Langley Green. Oh, definitely, they do have some walk-in only sales which do go down really well. Antics in Bristol, Plymouth and Gloucester, says Brian Sims. Absolutely. Loco Shed in Manchester, big up Jim and the Loco Shed posse. Malk's Models in Ilkeston, TT Diecast in Derby are good. Hobby Centre in Gothenburg, Sweden is my favourite hobby shop, said Stefan Svensson.
Isn't that Gothenburg?
Could be a typo. Gothenburg, yeah. I think it is, yeah. Also Richard Swiderski says the Model Centre. Yes, TNC. Yes. The Model Centre. And then Evan Terry says Fratton Model Centre in Fratton. So really good roll call there on all the great model shops out there. Do support them.
Your local model centre needs you.
Maybe we need that as a t-shirt or something.
Yes.
But also in the news, don't forget Warley 2021. News just broke today that Warley 2021 has been cancelled. J. Paul Anderson confirms, Gothenburg or Göteborg in Swedish. I pronounce it as in German. I don't know whether
I think it's Göteborg.
Oh, Göteborg. It could be Göteborg. But also, other news. Daypol have shown EPs, I believe, for the Class 66 and O-Gauge. Their bubble cars in O-Gauge are now hopefully imminent, having finally escaped the Ever Given that docked in Felixstowe. Yeah, that docked in Felixstowe and unloaded. Finally, I don't know what other model railway stuff may be on the ship, but certainly Daypol did confirm that their O-Gauge bubble cars were there. The MDO and MDV from Curascale are on the high seas and should be hopefully within the month or so. Kev McKay, 85, absolutely. Bolton Model Mart in Bolton, big up the Bolton Model Mart posse. And what other news did we have? The D-Class from Rails of Sheffield is completely sold out. And coming up this week, we've got a full review of the Hellion, Baldwin, Linton and Barnstable 242. Is it Lynn? That model, we've reviewed it, done a full DCC fitting guide. Be aware it's a bit challenging. If you do buy one of those, you need a really small micro 6-pin decoder. So be absolutely careful. Right. J. Paul Anderson asks, where is Bachmann's V2 at? I don't know. I'm sorry. The O2s from EFE Rail are imminent. Isle of Wight Steam Railways, their special commission of one of the Island Lines versions is already in stock and being dispatched, which means that the main range versions will not be that far behind. But until next time, this is me, Jennifer Kirk, saying you all stay safe, take great care of yourself, and from myself and the Cupboard Monkey, don't forget to tickle the like button, share the stream, and subscribe if you've not already done so, and check out our merchandise.
We just have one thing I need to say at the end, and I think it's hilarious. It's got nothing to do with model railways.
Is it hilarious? Can you live up to that promise?
It's about camping, and why this person doesn't want to go. Generations of humanity struggled and clawed their way up the technological tree in the hope that their descendants would no longer have to sleep on the ground outdoors. Who am I to disrespect the hard work of my ancestors?
Yeah.
I love it.
Amen to that. And on that note, a big thank you to you all for joining in. Big hello there to Cossie, 118 BMK, Naive Gauge, Lee D. Holden. We're getting a few names here at the end that I must have missed earlier on. Jerry BVR, Ruben Ashwell, Valleys 56XX, Good night to you all. Stay safe and happy modelling. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Night night.
Feel free to press that button anytime you want.
I was just wondering how long it would take you to ask me to do that. Good night, everyone.